Hello ladies and gents. This video is designed just simply to introduce you to the course. You may already know some of the details as to what it is that you're going to be doing and what is expected of you in terms of assessment, the different components of this BTEC Digital Information Technology course. But if you haven't seen it before, it's well worth looking into this website specifically. It's very easy to get to. What I would do is, if you want to look at this from home, simply Google BTEC Awards Digital Information Technology, and it's the first link. And you'll get to this website here. And I'm hoping to make this a very short video because it's just a simple outline, excuse me, as to what it is that you're going to be expected to do. On this website, you have everything you need. Now, some things are blocked and only accessible for teachers, but the things that you can access will be very useful for you, such as the specification itself. Now, I'm going to show you that in just a moment. You do have access to other things like sample assessment work, sort of from component 3, which is the exam that you'll be doing, so that's worth looking into as well. And you can just go across this bar here to see some of the external assessments, internal assessments, and other materials that might be helpful for you as you go through this course. This is the specification, and it's got basically everything you need. This is like the Bible for this course. So it is really worth your time going through this, especially when you start a component, looking at what it is that the examiner is looking for from you, so they can really aim high and get the marks that will make the difference in terms of hitting those grades at the top tier. You'll see you've got the content page here, and if you scroll down, if you print it off, that's fine as well. You'll find everything that you need. As you may or may not be aware, we've got 3 components. The first 2 components are controlled assessment. Well, I say controlled assessment, it's actually just a coursework that you will do in school, hopefully within the supervision of your teacher. So if you're in my class, you'll be doing it in front of me in our lessons. That's worth, I believe it was 60%, I'm not sure, let me just double check. Actually, I've got a better document. I'll go back to this one in a second. So this has got everything you need here. But this one here, which is also on the website, is a brief overview. And it goes through each section, the premise behind it, what it is that they're looking for, what they're aiming for you to basically do during the assessments themselves. So you'll see here that, there we go, so 30, yes, I was right, 60%. So component 1 is worth 30% of your total grade. Component 2 is worth 30% as well, and they're both assessed internally, so you do it in your school, your academy. Teacher will basically then give you some kind of feedback, and then you'll go away and do the real thing, which I'll cover properly in the next video. And then you've got component 3, which is basically a very traditional exam. You will be given an hour and a half to do it. It's all on paper, and it is 40% of your grade. And you'll have to revise for that. Traditionally speaking, you'll have to get notes out, you'll have to do some written work, you'll have to go through some past exam papers. There's no way around that, unfortunately. But again, we'll go through some of these elements on a later series of videos. So what I want to do really is I want you to just understand that before we go on to the next video, the whole aim for myself with these guides is basically getting you prepared for the real thing. Now, you may have been told that your teacher cannot tell you what to do, cannot give you any solutions when you start your real coursework. So component 1 and 2, when you start, you are by yourself. However, we've been advised that we can actually do like a mock, basically a practice version of the coursework that you're going to do before you actually do it. Now, for the practice, and that's really up to us how we do it, as long as it's not the real coursework. So basically, it's not going to be identical. So the business might be different, the context and the background will be different. It'll have to be, because otherwise you're doing the actual thing. So during the practice, your teacher's allowed to give you feedback, your teacher's allowed to give you advice, tell you what you need to do to get to the high level. And the great thing, boys and girls, is that once you're done the practice, any notes that you make and everything you do, you'll have access to when you do the real thing. So it is really useful to have a mock beforehand. Whether you do it in your own time at home or do it in lessons, it is wise. It's a wise move for you to actually give that a go first, just to get the practice in, the skills in. A lot of the things that you're going to do now, especially the first component, it's all research and knowledge based, but then you lead on to doing technical stuff as well as you get to component 2. So what I want you to do is basically, when you start looking at this series of videos, I want you to just keep this in mind, that everything that you're doing, even though it's not the actual coursework, it's for your practice, it's for your mock. The more you do, the more opportunity you get to get that feedback, that valuable piece of information from your teachers, i.e. myself, that you can then use to improve your practice. And then once you've done that, you then have that available to you when you do the real thing. Because like I said, as soon as you start the real thing, it'll be a different context, a different business. Your teacher's not allowed to tell you anything other than to remind you about the things that you did in the practice in the mock itself. Okay, so that's the main aim of this video, or this series of videos. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at component 1, and we'll hopefully go down and break it down one step at a time.